Hi, it's David here, back with another Alchemy Informative. This time we're going to be talking about custom actions in Alchemy. Out of the box, Alchemy provides a lot of standard actions that you can use in your tests, like select and click and type and all kinds of verification actions. But there may be times where you need to create a custom action, something that we didn't think of implementing that might be unique to your application, and you might want to create a custom action and share that custom action with your team. So what I'm going to do in this demonstration is show you how you would go about creating a custom action. And the use case that I've chosen is a very simple one, and that is double clicking on this element right here changes the color of it. Now in Alchemy I have an attribute action. So attribute will get attributes of the DOM. However, background color is a CSS value. It's not an attribute of the DOM. So what I'm going to do is create an action that will do the get CSS value Selenium method to enable me to get the background color of this element. So to that end, I have already recorded a test here, and let me just execute that so you can see. All it does is go in and double click on that element, and you'll see that element turn green on the screen down here. So the requirement that I have is to now verify the color of that element once I've double clicked on it. So what I'm going to do is create my custom action. Now when you're creating a custom action, if you click on Home and then go to Advanced, what you'll see here is a list of all of the actions in Alchemy. The ones with the green shield are ones that are standard out of the box verified actions that are part of the Alchemy platform. The ones that don't have a shield are ones that I've created or somebody has created and shared with me. So one thing that you can do when you're creating a custom action, one thing you should keep in mind to make it easier is, just like we do with everything these days code-wise, is let's take some code that we already have that's similar and just modify it slightly to make it work for our particular application. So the one that is most similar is attribute. So let's just take a look at the attribute action, and the things that you'll see about any action are on this, the method signature, the action signature is we have a display template that tells it how to display in the test canvas. We have some input arguments, we have an output argument, and then under versions is the actual implementation of that action, which is the Java code, Selenium code that will do the action. And you'll see that there's one line of particular interest here called get attribute, where we send in the attribute name. So like I said, this is a very similar action to what I want to do, only I want to change from get attribute to get CSS value. So all I'm going to do is basically make a copy of the attribute and slightly change that code, the attribute action rather. So I'm just going to create a new action. I'm going to call it, we'll just call it demo CSS. And I will add it to my list. And then I will just put in a display template. And notice in here I've changed, instead of saying attribute, I've got CSS name. Target locator is the same, output's the same. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put this into a category called utility. That's where the attribute action lives, so we'll put it in the same category. And then I'm going to add the input arguments. The first one is just going to be that, I'll just copy it from here so I don't make any typing mistakes. Target locator, and that's not going to be a string, it's going to be a locator. The second argument is going to be this CSS name, and that is going to be a string because that's going to be something like background color in our demo. And then for the output, I'll just click the default only button here so that I can name the output variable that comes out. And that's it for the signature. So we'll save that, then we'll go over to versions and we'll add a version. We'll choose Java Selenium, create the version, and I've got the code on my clipboard here, and notice get CSS value and CSS name. That's essentially all that has changed, with the exception of we're capturing something called CSS value and we're putting that in the context variable map for the output of our action. So then I will save that, compile that locally just to make sure everything's good, no errors. And that is done. Our action should be complete now. We may need a quick refresh here, and then we should see our demo CSS action here in the list. So now that I've added that custom action, I'll go back to my suite where my test lives, and I think I had that open. I'm just going to close that suite and reopen it. And this is the one that just has the T1 where I only click on the element. I don't do any verifications yet. So what I can do now is I can start to verify the background color. Now I could do that just from the Actions toolbox, or I could do it from a recording. I'm just going to do it from the Actions toolbox, and I'm going to drag in the demo CSS action, get the value of background color, and the target locator is going to be the same, this BG guy that's up here that we just double clicked on. And then the only thing else we need to do is, let's get this out of the way, we'll put a variable called BG to store the output of our method or of our step. And then all I'll do is, let's go and do a console to print out so that you can see that we've actually grabbed the color of that thing. So now I'm going to my data toolbox and grabbing my context variable, and I'm just going to print that out to the console. And that's all there is to do. Now if we wanted to actually do a check, we could use something like the compare to compare the color that we get back to the color that we're expecting. Now I'm not going to go through that. The purpose of this demonstration was just to show you how to create a custom action. There we go. All right, so you see we did the get CSS value. That was our new action that we created, and it stored the background color information into a variable called BG, and then we printed out BG, and it was RGBA 147.203.91. So that is it. That's a custom action. Again, you go to Home, you go to Advanced, you see the list of actions, and you can use the ones in here for examples and create your own custom actions like we did here, using a simple change of one line of code to do a get CSV value. So that's it for this Alchemy informative. That's how to create a custom action to do something unique in your application. I hope you found this informative. Thank you very much.